And she is something different. She is a legit stretch four. And the single most annoying thing is still that the Fever were so set in Demiris Dantas that they got rid of Temi. Like, could you imagine having Temi as a backup five? The lucky thing is that long term, I do think that KK Timpson can beat Temi, but that's pure luck. That is pure luck that Michaela Timpson was available for them at pick number 18 or 19.
The Indiana Fever appears to have discovered a valuable addition to their roster, though the uniqueness of this find shouldn't be overstated. While numerous players across professional basketball could potentially deliver similar contributions to what Chloe Bibby provided, the significance lies in addressing specific roster needs that existing players couldn't fulfill. Current roster members like Demiris Dantas, Natasha Howard, and Bree Turner have been unable to provide the specific skill set that Bibby brings to the court. Despite potentially dozens of players possessing similar abilities, Bibby's availability and fit within the team's system makes her acquisition meaningful. Delivering 8 points across 10 minutes of playing time, Bibby demonstrated remarkable efficiency and impact during her limited court appearance.
For them at pick number 18 or 19. That is pure luck. Because I think the dream would have taken her had Pow Pow not fallen. Like, there was weird picks that led to teams passing on Timpson. But Chloe Bibby is absolutely a one-of-a-kind player for the Fever. They don't have, and you can see it in her jump shot. When Chloe Bibby is left open, she's going to make the shot. She's going to make the shot. When she is left open, she's...
Her performance showcased complete dominance within her role, establishing herself as a legitimate stretch forward option for the team's front court rotation. The organization's previous commitment to Demiris Dantas proved particularly frustrating, especially considering they released Tiara McCowan to accommodate that decision. Having McCowan available as a backup center would have provided valuable depth, though the fortunate availability of Michaela Onyen, were at draft position 18 or 19, helped address this need through pure circumstance rather than strategic planning. Teams ahead of Indiana in the draft passed on Onyen were due to various factors, including unexpected player availability that altered their selection priorities. This fortunate turn of events allowed the Fever to secure a player who might have been selected much earlier under different circumstances.
Money. And all she has to do is, I thought she was effective. Like, she got a block on Maddie Westbeld. She got 2 boards. She ran hard. Like, she ran hard and she hit open shots. And she's going to hit open shots. And if you guys didn't see, they, like, she literally was playing over Dantas. Demiris Dantas was...
Bibby represents a unique asset for the Fever's current roster construction. Her shooting ability from extended range provides a dimension previously missing from their forward rotation. When positioned in open shooting situations, her accuracy appears reliable and consistent, making her a trusted offensive weapon. Beyond shooting, Bibby contributed defensively with a blocked shot against Maddie Westbeld and secured 2 rebounds while displaying excellent effort and hustle throughout her playing time. Her willingness to sprint in transition and execute fundamental basketball plays impressed observers.
Was playing over Dantas. Demiris Dantas was just straight up out of the rotation. Demiris Dantas was gone. They were not focusing whatsoever on Demiris Dantas. They were absolutely had Chloe Bibby in there. Someone just said Chloe Bibby had 4 steals. Almost had 4 steals. But, like, Chloe Bibby is something different. And I'm...
Most significantly, Bibby earned playing time over Dantas, who found herself completely removed from the rotation. The coaching staff showed clear preference for Bibby's skill set and approach, essentially eliminating Dantas from consideration during crucial game moments. Some reports indicated Bibby recorded nearly 4 steals, though this statistic requires verification. Regardless of exact numbers, her defensive activity and awareness contributed meaningfully to team success during her minutes on the court. While Bibby may not represent the absolute best available player the Fever could have acquired, her ability to convert open shooting opportunities makes her valuable.
Is something different, and I'm so happy the Fever did something. And look, is Chloe Bibby the best player available that they could have gotten? No. But she can hit shots. She can hit shots. She spots up. She relocates. And she can move a little bit. Like, Chloe Bibby, did you not see she caught a rebound and pushed the floor a little bit? She can move. Like, she is a much better fit than Damiris Dantas. I didn't really...
Her skills include spotting up for catch and shoot attempts, relocating to find open spaces, and maintaining offensive flow through constant movement. Particularly impressive was Bibby's ability to secure defensive rebounds and immediately push the pace in transition, showcasing mobility that extends beyond simple spot-up shooting. This versatility provides coaching flexibility and creates additional offensive opportunities for teammates. The coaching staff experimented with unusual lineups featuring Bibby alongside Lexi Hall, Sophie Cunningham, and Onion were, with either Erica Wheeler or Caitlin Clark completing the group. While these combinations appeared unconventional, they demonstrated willingness to explore Bibby's potential within various strategic frameworks.
I like the lineup of Chloe Bibby, and there was a weird lineup they ran in the fourth quarter where it was like Chloe Bibby, Lexi, Sophie, KK, and I don't know if it was Ari or Colson, but I think it was Ari. Like, that was a weird lineup. That was a really, really weird lineup. And look, Chloe Bibby can hit shots. So instead I trashed her game saying she's below average. Man, she needs to do two things. She needs to try hard and hit and shoot wide open. Like, that's all we need.
Previous assessments of Bibby's abilities were perhaps overly critical, focusing on perceived limitations rather than recognizing her potential contributions. Her requirements for success appear straightforward: maximum effort and accurate shooting from open positions. Meeting these basic expectations could justify her roster inclusion. Bibby's international basketball experience provides context for her current opportunity. During the Asia Cup Finals, she played only 6 minutes, indicating her position near the bottom of Australia's national team depth chart.
She needs to try hard and hit and shoot wide open. Like, that's all we need. And I'll gladly be wrong. I'll gladly be wrong. Like, saying Chloe Bibby fell into the Fever's lap. Like, Chloe Bibby played 6 minutes in the Asia Cup Final. Like, she is, if you look at the Australian depth chart for their main team for the Olympics, she's probably not in the top 20 of their depth chart for Australia. She was the...
Even within Australia's secondary team for that competition, which featured no WNBA players, Bibby occupied an end-of-bench role. However, individual talent levels matter less than system fit and role execution. This principle supports the argument for selecting players like Hannah Stocking in future drafts, regardless of their projected draft position. Stocking's combination of shooting ability, motor, and speed would complement the Fever's core players effectively. Building around Caitlin Clark and Ayalia Boston requires surrounding them with shooters who possess high energy levels and exceptional conditioning.
For Australia, she was she got the least minute. She was the end of rotation for Australia in the Asia Cup, and it was the Australian B team, as in they had none of their WNBA players, and she was like end of the bench. But at the end of the day, I don't care how great of a player Chloe Bibby is. It's about being a fit. It's about being a fit, which is why I said the Indiana Fever should take Hannah Stuelke no matter what in the draft. No matter where the Indiana Fever end up in the draft, they should take Hannah Stuelke. If they get a 10th pick and Stuelke...
These complementary pieces enable star players to maximize their impact while maintaining team spacing and pace. Kelsey Mitchell's recent performances suggest she deserves consideration for a significant contract extension. Her current play has elevated her status within the organization, potentially making her the franchise's highest paid player if this level continues. Championship-level success appears achievable with Mitchell, Boston, and Clark as the foundation, provided the supporting cast features appropriate skill sets and basketball understanding. Role players must complement rather than compete with these primary options.
8 turnovers in her last game, I think 7 in the game before that. She, in an awful stretch of games, seems to be depressed on the court and playing with a completely different energy and emotion than what she had been before the Barbie brawl during the Connecticut Sun game. Question here is, Steve, are you buying the groin injury, or are they calling a timeout and letting her recoup mentally?
Okay, I'll play along here.
Long-term roster planning shouldn't necessarily include Bibby beyond the current season, particularly given the existence of superior players with similar skill sets. Rebecca Allen of the Chicago Sky represents a clear upgrade at the same position, offering similar shooting and movement abilities with superior overall basketball skills. The comparison between Bibby and Dantas remains relevant primarily in terms of shooting consistency. Should Dantas rediscover her shooting touch, roster dynamics could shift again, though current evidence favors Bibby's reliability from beyond the arc. Mitchell's performance deserves special recognition, not merely for scoring output, but for consistent decision-making and basketball intelligence.
Group mentally.
Okay, I'll play along here. I called her the league. That should be her moniker, because she is the league, right? She was injured. The ratings dipped. There was pressure for her to come back. She might have rushed back. And what happens when you rush back and you try to make up for one injury? You cause another one. Someone brought this up to me. Go, Steve, you ever think that the last couple of games she is suffering or ailing physically because she may have come back too soon? Jason, there's a shot that could be very valid.
When Mitchell focuses on off-ball movement, catch-and-shoot opportunities, and team-first basketball, she becomes arguably the league's premier shooting guard. The challenge with Mitchell involves her tendency toward inconsistent decision-making, alternating between brilliant team play and detrimental isolation basketball. Her ability to listen to positive influences rather than negative impulses determines her effectiveness on any given night. For the first time this season, Mitchell demonstrated excellent decision-making without Clark on the court, suggesting growth in her basketball maturity and understanding of situational requirements. Previous games without Clark often featured questionable shot selection and ball-stopping behavior.
Jason, there's a shot that could be very valid. Now, if it's the other thing that she needs a timeout, people can talk about mental health. I think that's mental weakness, and she needs to toughen up if that is the case. I would be severely disappointed if it is the latter and not the former.
Okay, Steve, walk me through this, though. She was injured, as you said.
Yes.
She comes back, has the incredible...
Future roster construction should prioritize archetypes over individual reputations. Focusing on specific player types rather than past accomplishments prevents mistakes like retaining players based on defensive accolades rather than current fit and performance. Core players warranting protection include Onion Wurr, Boston, Mitchell, Clark, and potentially Cunningham depending on contract negotiations. Hall also merits retention based on her contributions and potential for continued development. Bibby's value lies in demonstrating the archetype needed for success, a frontcourt player who relocates constantly and maintains spacing through movement.
As you said.
Yes.
She comes back, has the incredible game against the New York Liberty. Incredible game. Let me see, and I don't think that was her first game back. No, it wasn't. That was her third game back. She came back on Tuesday, May 20th against the Atlanta Dream, had 27 points in that game. 27 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds, went 9 of 20 in that game, 5 of 11 from three-point range. Next game against Atlanta.
Unlike Dantas, who tends to remain stationary after initial positioning, Bibby's continuous relocation creates ongoing offensive advantages and keeps defenses honest throughout possessions. The WNBA landscape features prominent players including Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Aja Wilson amid ongoing league dynamics and controversies. Clark sits out tonight's matchup against the LA Sparks due to a reported groin injury. This absence follows a concerning performance streak where she shot 0 for 6 from three-point range and 3 of 13 overall in her previous game. Her recent 3-game stretch shows 1 of 23 shooting from beyond the arc, coupled with 8 turnovers in her latest appearance and 7 in the contest prior.
Next game against Atlanta, she goes 0 of 5 from 3, but she has 11 points. Am I reading it? Nope, I done screwed this up. I'm sorry. Let me. She actually came back against the New York Liberty. That was the first game back against the New York Liberty after her being out. I'm sorry. And she, again, 32 points, 7 of 14 from three-point range.
Her court demeanor appears notably different, displaying less energy and emotion compared to her pre-Connecticut Sun incident performance. The question emerges whether this groin injury represents genuine physical ailment or strategic rest for mental recovery. Clark functions as the league's primary draw. Misa her absence correlates directly with viewership declines. Pressure for her return may have caused premature comeback attempts, potentially creating secondary injuries while compensating for initial problems. Recent games suggest possible physical struggles from returning too quickly, though mental fatigue represents another consideration.
7 of 14 from three-point range. It's the most electric game she ever played. And then she follows that up 3 days later against the Connecticut Sun, 20-point game, 4 of 6 from three-point range. So in the 2 games before that New York Liberty, or in the 2 games, in her initial 2 games after coming back, she's 11 of 20 from 3, and now after the Barbie brawl, she's 1 of 23. Can rush back, and this is the...
Her return timeline shows mixed results. The comeback game against New York Liberty produced exceptional performance. 32 points with 7 of 14 three-point shooting in an electrifying display. 3 days later, against Connecticut Sun, she contributed 20 points on 4 of 6 three-point attempts. These 2 initial return games yielded 11 of 23-point shooting, contrasting sharply with the subsequent 1 of 23 stretch following the controversial Connecticut incident. Dana Bonner's departure from the team adds another complicating factor.
3. Can rush back, and this is the injury deal? I don't. This seems. DeWanna Bonner quits again, the team.
We're speculating, but I've said this. She needs to toughen up. She's awfully dainty. And I think it's a little unfair, the expectations placed on her. She's never going to please everybody. But again, that's why I will never compare her to Jordan in any way. Jordan steeled himself in situations like this. He used this as motivation and fuel.
Clark faces unrealistic expectations. Pleasing everyone remains impossible. Unlike Michael Jordan, who transformed adversity into motivation and used criticism as fuel, Clark appears affected by external pressures. At 23 years old, she finds herself central to racial discussions and conflicts completely outside her Iowa background and interests. Her fan base faces vilification while opponents employ increasingly physical play styles.
Jordan steeled himself in situations like this. He used this as motivation and fuel. If she's letting this beat her down, then she's not meant to be the league, even though she is and will be. That's the reality of this.
I'm not going to belabor the point with you, Steve, but come on, man. This is a 23-year-old woman who's been at the center of a racial conflict and conversation that no 23-year-old girl from Iowa has any interest at all in participating in.
The situation demands either developing protective armor through toughening or succumbing to mounting pressures. The organization must construct a team framework specifically designed around Clark's abilities and needs, similar to Philadelphia's 2001 roster built entirely around Allen Iverson's talents. That Sixers model required every teammate to sacrifice individual statistics and recognition, understanding their roles as support systems. Players set screens, handled defensive assignments, and accepted reduced shot attempts while Iverson commanded 35 to 40 attempts nightly.